All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming, and in my C#, the last couple programs or last couple of videos that I created a GUI version of our body mass index or BMI program where I came in and added functions in. And in video 13 that you see on your screen right there to the right, I created the program. And in video 14, I explained everything that was going on in the program, so I've broken into two. All right, I'd like to go and make a copy of what I just did and make a third iteration. And in that third iteration, what I want to do is I want to create a new first file. And that new first file, all right, I want to create a new project. And that new project, I want to copy over the old one, but what I want in there is I want to have another form that I create. I want the form that's there, but then I want to create another form, and that should be an opening form. All right, and why am I doing something like that? Because after the example that we're working on here, after I complete this one, we're going to next have maybe a fairly long tutorial. We're going to talk about debugging. All right, and after we talk about debugging, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start working on our next program in here, and that is the payroll program. And when we get to the GUI version of the payroll program, what we're going to have are 5 different forms. An opening form, all right, then another form that's going to be able to handle hourly payroll workers or hourly workers. Another form that will handle piece worker payroll. Another form that will handle commission worker payroll. Finally, a last one that'll handle salary worker payroll. And I want to be able to jockey back and forth between these different forms. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that, or at least try to in this particular example. All right, so let me get into Visual Studio. I think I still have it open here. All right, and what I want to do is I want to copy an existing app to a new project. So I have to start by creating the new project. You'll see now it's got recent project templates, so it remembers what I've done. And I want the Windows Forms app.NET Framework, so I'm just going to choose it from there. This will be called third iteration BMI GUI. All right, I'm going to click Create, and it's going to create a new project for me. All right, before we do anything else, let's start doing some stuff with this project, with this one right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to change, let's change first the name of this. We're going to call this FRM main. Now when I hit enter, whoa, wrong thing there. All right, so FRM main. When I hit enter here, it's going to come back and it's going to say, hey, do you want to change everywhere that form 1 is shown on here inside the code in some of these files, like these designer files and stuff, do you want to change them? And I do. Oh, I thought it was going to ask me, but it didn't. Okay. All right. So this is the third iteration. This is FRM main. Everything looks cool right now. Again, I don't need really any of this, so I can get rid of that. I could leave it there. It's not hurting anything. All right, but I want to come back now and I want to come back over to here, and let's go in and just make change a couple things like we usually do. We'll set this to center screen. We're going to set the background color. The last one we did was that orange. So what's next? Yellow. All right, so there's that. Let's change the text that we have on the form. And we're going to say body mass index, parenthesis BMI, parenthesis GUI program iteration 03. So that's all done. All right. Now I want to go back just for a second to iteration 2 of this. And you'll see why in a second. So let me grab that from that form. I'm going to want to clear, not a clear, I'm going to want to, I'm going to just grab this button and I'm going to copy it. There's that. Let me unlock it. And let me make a copy. Okay. If you say, what are you doing? Just please bear with me for a second here. All right. All right, there's the exit button. This button is going to say show BMI. So we'll change the name of that one to BTN show BMI. All right, this says exit already. So this one will now say show ampersand BMI. So there's that one. All right. Now we've got that done. There's no code in either one of these yet, and that's okay. We can copy over the exit code. That's not a problem. All right. But before we do that, I want to add 2 more controls here. The first one is one we have not looked at yet, and it's called a picture box. This is going to, hopefully, if I do it right, is going to allow me to put in an image, and it will be a BMI image. Okay, let's move that over a bit. And then, so let's make that darker too, just so it stands out so you can see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to create a label. Remember, when we create a label, one of the first things we want to do is reset the auto size from true to false. I want this to be about the same size as that. That looks pretty good. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Let's see. Looks like they should be moved over a little. And this size is 300 by 260. So let's make this one 300 by 260. Now they're the same size. Move that over. Move this over. And let's make this darker as well so we can see what we're doing. All right, that's not terrible. Let's change the text. You don't put text into a picture box. So let me click this one. And these are already set, but let's make sure. So let's go to font. And let's make sure they're all set the same. So Arial, bold, 18 point. Okay, we don't want any code in here for the label. Any text, I should say. So that's gone. Now, this is looking the way I want it to look, so let's take this and let's lock our form so we can't move it around at all. There. So we've got that done. All right. Now, next I want to show you how to bring in a picture, but let's make sure these are all named right. So that's BTN show BMI, BTN exit. This is just, no, picture box 1 is a terrible name, so we'll call this picture box BMI image. And this will be called LBL. We'll just call it BMI text. Not great names, but they'll do. All right. Now, in this picture box, notice there's a thing down here that's called image. There's nothing in it right now. So let's put something in it. Now, I actually went and practiced or played with this a little bit before. So I'm going to get rid of this and bring it back in so you can see everything I'm doing here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to images.google.com. and I'm going to search for a BMI image. And the image that I want is going to have to be one with 4 things in it like this. All right, underweight, normal, overweight, and obese. You can use that one. I had a better looking one before. And I don't see it right now. So let me change this to body mass index. That's the one. I like this one here. Okay, so I'm going to save this image. And I'll just save it to my desktop as BMI.jpg. Okay, I shouldn't need that anymore, but we'll leave that open for now anyway. Right, there it is. So how do I bring that in? Well, I go to my picture box, I go down to image, and it's a local resource because it's on my machine. I'm going to import, and there's BMI.jpg. Is that what I want? Yes. It's a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go down a little further where it says size mode, and I'm going to say to stretch the image. Whoops, it didn't do that. I didn't want to do that. Doggone it. Well, let's see if I can undo that. There. I'll do it again. So bring it back in again. So image, local resource, import, BMI. There it is. It's too small. I want to change the size mode. When I just did it, it was to auto size, so it made the box smaller. I want to stretch the image. There we go. And over here, I want to put in some BMI text so we know what this is all about. Okay? So let's go back to, let's go back to where we just were in here, but let's change this. And let's just type in here, body mass index. Oh, I don't want images. So let me go back to Google here and do that. So body mass index. There we go. And I'm going to just grab this. Hopefully that'll be enough. We'll see. All right. And what I'm going to do is in my form here, in the load event, all right, I'm going to say LBL. Didn't I rename that? Oh, I did not rename that. LBL BMI text. All right. So in here I'm going to say LBL BMI text dot text is equal to, and let me just, I'll put it here, paste it in. It's a lot of text. Okay. Hopefully that fit. So file, save all. Let's run it and see what it looks like. Oops, I did gotta set my startup project. All right, let's see. Okay, error. I'll try to run project. Unable to start program. Now, this might be because I was playing with it before and I created another one called third iteration BMIGUIV, and I don't know if that's why or not. So I created something and then removed it. And that might have screwed things up. I don't know. Well, let's see the second iteration of BMIGUIV. Can I run that one? That's fine. But see, I don't have an exe here, so don't know what the problem is. All right. We don't need that anymore. Like I said, I think it's because I created something with this before and somehow it's goofing up a thing with the naming. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause for a minute, see if I can figure out the problem, and then come back. All right, it's quite a while later, and for whatever reason, the problem, I have added a picture box and put images in hundreds of programs literally in my life. But that's what was breaking this. So what I had to do was put it in code, and that took a little bit of figuring out too. So I added the text, and I took this from the cdc.gov website. Then I had to tell it the location of the image location. And this was it for me, so you'd have to change it on yours. But the point is now, if I put that in and run it, there's my picture. All right, so that's my opening screen. And again, as it says, I grabbed some stuff from the cdc.gov website. This doesn't work, and this doesn't work because there's no code in there yet. So let's put a little bit of that in. Again, I don't think I'll need any of these. So we've got two buttons here, our show BMI, which we'll put in a minute, and our exit. Well, the exit we've got already from a previous program, so I'm just going to go steal that. Okay, and that was that exit program or not, so we'll just put that whole thing in here. Oh, where is that? There it is. So I'm going to make a call here to something that doesn't exist, so I'll get an error. So exit program or not. And I'm going to put it in right away, so there that is. So now I should be able to exit from here. Okay, so exit now works. That's good. And the other thing I want is to be able to, of course, put in the other code. So I'm going to add another form here. Form. And we called our first one FRM BMI, which wasn't really a good name, but that's fine. This will be FRM BMI stats. Not a great name, but it'll work. Okay, let's go in and make a couple changes. First, let's go back to here because I noticed I didn't change the text here. So this text will be changed to C# body mass index BMI program, GUI program. Did I say GUI at the start? C# body mass index BMI GUI program iteration 03 start screen. All right, so that's all done now. On this new one that we just added, BMI stats, we call this BMI stats, which is fine. So the text we're going to change to this, but it's going to be, whoa, hello. Thought I had it. C# body mass index GUI program. Body mass index BMI GUI program iteration 03 main screen. Okay, so that's done. Let's immediately change its start location to center screen. And finally, let's change its color so it matches the other one. So make it that light shade of yellow. So this is the screen we'll want to go to. All right, so how do we do that? Well, again, going back, I know what I want to do here, and I want to hide the other screen. I want to show this screen, but I don't remember how to do it. So let's see if we can figure that out. Oops. How about this? How to hide one visual, one C# form and show another one. There. So hide one form and show another. I know there's a hide and there's a show in there. There we go. So let's see. This dot hide, that's what it is. Okay. Show you it right now. So how are we going to do that? Well, we got to do it here. So we're going to say this dot hide. That should hide the original form. And then we're going to say FRM BMI stats equal new FRM BMI stats. Well, how did we do it on there? Oh, okay. We'll call it FRM main form. I'll say that. And then we'll say FRM main form dot show. All right, let's see if when we click now, if it shows the main form. So file, save all, run this. Now this should show the second form, and it does. Good. All right. Now, just because we got all the code already in there and I don't feel like writing it again, I'm going to see if I can copy everything from the last iteration of this. It could be a big mistake. So let me do a file, save all first. And then let me come in here, second iteration. This is everything. Copy it. I'm going to come into here. Right there. I'm going to see if we can paste it. Good deal. All right, let's make these a dark yellow. So it basically lines up with what we had in there previously. LBL height, LBL weight, LBL BMI STR, LBL okay, TXT height, TXT weight. Oh, this is good because it's got everything that's in here kept. Now, there is one thing I want to do here, though. So I'm going to have to unlock these. I'm going to move these all over. Why, Jeff? Because I want to add a new button. All right. Okay, so let me lock all this again. Good. So we've got BTN calculate, BTN clear, BTN exit, this is going to be btn return. So it allows us to return to the other form. Now what I don't like here, what I've done, is I'm going to move this and this and this. Yeah, I like exit to be at the end all the time. That's just a personal type of thing. Okay, so we got calculate. I can close this now. Oh, I should have left it open. Oops. It's fine. We've got clear. We've got return. And finally, again, we've got exit. So there'll be a little duplicative code in here. We'll talk about later how you can set that up so it's not duplicative, but I'm not going to do that right now. So let's do these first. Let's go in our main form here. Let's grab this code. And this form is called FRM BMI. Okay. We want to do this dot hide again, but we want to say here FRM BMI. And we'll just change this to FRM BMI form equals new FRM BMI. That should take care of that. Now I could put that where I've got this return here. Notice I called it BTM. Oh my goodness. That is just terrible programming on my part. I'm going to leave it for now. All right, so I should be able to go back and forth now. And let me get the exit code also here. Copy. And we'll call exit program or not. We'll get an error because it doesn't exist. So let's put it down here. And there it is. So some of this is already done. So let's try it again. So we can go to show BMI. There it is. We can return back. We can exit from here. So those all work. We need clear and we need calculate. Okay. Let's again go back to what we had previously. And whoop. Guess I had that up here before. And now I got rid of it. So we call that clear fields or something like that. Clear all fields. Where the heck is clear all fields? There it is. We'll add that. So this we'll call clear all fields. We'll get an error because it doesn't exist. So we're going to make it exist right now. Let's put this above the exit stuff. All right, so now we should be able to change forms There's our opening form. All right, we should be able to put something in here. It's not going to work yet, but we should be able to clear. We should be able to return, and we should be able to exit. All right, so all I do want to do in here is in my calculate, I want to call that huge function that I created earlier. So I'm going to have to copy all of this stuff in, the get height, get weight, calculate BMI, the output all stats, all of that. So let's copy that, and we will bring it in to here. Okay, and all we have to do now is call that. Don't worry about that. We have to bring in these too. So we'll do that right now. I forgot about that. So at the top of my program, I'll need to bring in those constants. That'll fix all the errors we just got in our program. Okay, they should all be gone now. Now it's gray because we're not calling that. All right. So what did we call from our button here? Input and calculate output. Okay, let's bring this in. Well, I don't know what I did here. So hopefully this will be all right. We'll find out in a minute. Get weight, calculate BMI. Might have had some duplicative code in here. There's output all statistics. Well, we're just going to copy this whole thing in. And I will put it down at the bottom. Hopefully we haven't introduced any errors. Now, we call this thing input and calculate output. All right. Let's go in and add our menu options like we had before. So we've got these. And menu calculate, menu clear, menu exit. Good. So in this calculate, we're going to again want to call this. In our clear, we're going to want to call clear all fields. And finally, in our exit, we're going to want to call exit program or not. That should be everything. Let's run it and see. There's our opening screen. show BMI. We come in here, we leave it blank, correct error message that it's empty, non-numeric, correct, out of range, correct, and the same thing for the weight, empty, non-numeric, out of range, clear works, return works. If we do it again, and we calculate from here, that worked, clear works, exit works. Good deal. All right, everything works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right here because we're at 36 minutes, and when I come back, I'm going to explain everything I just did in detail. See you in a couple.